What's going on, everyone? It's Dark Strider, and yeah, I want to talk about this disaster that was Concord. Absolutely phenomenal. If you're not caught up, Concord was supposed to be a shooter that was supposed to be the future for PlayStation. It was a console exclusive, and it initially was supposed to be like, I don't know, like a Star Wars or a Destiny sort of project. And we were blown away to find out recently that it cost 400 million and almost 10 years of development. That is absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely wild. I couldn't even believe when I heard something like that. So apparently somebody had reached out to Colin Moriarty, who was offered this information up front. The person most likely was a disgruntled developer or something along those lines. And one of the things that I want to say is my heart does go out to the developers. I know some people are all, hey, go woke, go broke. And again, nobody deserves to lose their job at all. And we've seen so many studio closings this year, way too many. And it's only September. It's wild. So, to all the developers, like my heart does go out to you. I know some people are like, nope, you reap what you sow, you get what you get. You should have known better. And I got that. I'll show you who I have smoke for a little bit later. But anyway, this game, so much money, so much time to come out for 2 weeks. That's not a good look. Definitely heads are going to roll. There's going to be problems. It's just absolutely wild. I know one developer was kind of snarky, and she had said, something along the lines of, these people don't even know what they want to play. Pretty soon they're going to have nothing to play. No, we have plenty to play. What you need to do is just give the fans what they want and be honest. Be upfront. If you're going to create a game, let people know what game you're going to create. I can't believe that in beta testing, you had to have a beta test. You had to have had people who wanted to play this game to try it out. And then, depending on what it was and what people felt, you go accordingly. Don't just push forward. Take people's feedback seriously. Okay? My issues with Concord, the reason I didn't purchase it, I didn't care for it, was I I had no interest in it. It looked like a Destiny clone, not really a Star Wars clone to me. Uh, we have enough games like Destiny. We have enough fire team shooters and stuff like that. I know some people are like really into that. I know PlayStation really isn't known for multiplayer games. That's more of an Xbox thing, where on Xbox they have tons of multiplayer games. They have tons of, like team games. And, in all honesty, that's not my thing. I'm more of a solo player. I don't like to join a team unless I absolutely have to. So if it's like, 1v1 or, like every person for themselves, I'm with it. But, I just, yeah, I personally can't get into it. Lil Strider loves, or he used to love Fortnite. He outgrew it. I'm well beyond that myself. I don't want to play games like that. Some people, they do. And if that's your thing, more power to you. But this is absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't believe when I heard $400 million to produce this game. That's like 2 Spider-Man 2 games. Okay, Spider-Man 2 was around 200 million. This game, 400 million, and you didn't do anything innovative. I mean, the graphics are pretty much on par with current gen. You didn't bring anything to the table, really. You know, and then you emphasized and shoved down the throats of the players that you have LGBTQ characters, you have all kinds of inclusion, you know. And again, I'll get to inclusion in a little bit, but you did this kind of thing where you were force feeding people what you wanted, not what the players want, what you wanted. And that's the problem. If you're making a game, yes, it's a labor of love. It's something that you want to do. It's something that you enjoy doing, but you are trying to profit off of this. Not just a labor of love, but you're trying to profit. And if you're not going to give the fans what they want, if you're not going to give the players what they want, if you're not going to give people what they want, or even something that interests them, you're going to end up with a disaster, as you just did. Now, when I saw it, I thought that the graphics looked cool. I thought that it was, you know, it was kind of wild looking, you know, like you had all these aliens and everything. You know, I don't care about, like, you know, all those elements. Like I've said before, you know, inclusion is important. It is important, okay? I used the example in a previous video where I said that, you know, I saw a video where there was a child who could not speak, was deaf, and could only sign language. And the Disney characters, because she was at a Disney park, the Disney characters were able to speak to her via sign language. And to me, that's sweet. You know, that girl felt important. That girl felt included. So I understand inclusion. You know, had nobody paid attention to this girl, had nobody, and I'm not saying that, you know, the world has to learn, you know, the sign language, that the world has to learn other languages of everyone else on the planet so that you could include everybody else on the planet. That's not what I'm saying. But in that instance, that was so sweet that these characters were able to converse with this child. And if you don't think that that's sweet, if you think that that's absolute garbage, if you think that, you know, I'm being a little zesty or whatever, you're kind of heartless, and you really need to get checked out. You need to get some sort of empathy. You know, inclusion is important to an extent. It shouldn't be forced. It shouldn't be shoved down your throat. Okay? Like I said, being a Hispanic, being a Puerto Rican, living in the United States, what I associate with when I play a video game, I don't care if the character is male or female. I don't care if the character is handicapped, LGBTQIA+, or anything like that. All I care about is that the character is very fleshed out. The world is built very fleshed out itself. The story is solid. The controls are solid. And I could get immersed into this world that you created. Okay? If I can't get immersed into the world, if I have no interest in it, it's going to bore me. I'm going to force myself through it. Kind of like Star Wars Outlaws. I'm forcing myself through this game. People want to see it. I'm trying to see if it picks up. As it stands, I can't do it. And it's not because the character is a female, the main character, you know, like a lot of people think she's ugly. You know, that's your opinion. It is what it is. My issues with the game is that I feel like it's a stealth mission, a fetch mission, a breakout mission, a raid, and then you leave the planet. You go to like the next planet and it's rinse and repeat. It's the same formula. So far, I'm picking up crew members for the ship, and every time I pick up a crew member, it's that exact thing.
I see. Deal. You'll find your
I don't know why they did it that way. It's weird. They should have had way more stuff going on. There's too many mechanics. You have to use the little dog thing to go get things. You have to change your blasters every few seconds. It's wild. You can watch the gameplay. You judge for yourself. There's no real way to know where you're going. Like the markers on the map suck. It's terrible. But now, as far as Concord goes, I don't think anybody really wanted it. I know nobody wanted it, clearly, because at any given time, there were only like 80 some odd people that were playing it. I think the max they got up to was like 100 something, like 115, like low 100, which is wild, and depressing. Now, I do have smoke for Sony in this instance, because what they should have done is use that money to give the fans, the players, the people who buy your console, what they want. What do the players want? A lot of people were saying, why didn't we get a Bloodborne remaster? Bloodborne is a great game. You could have remastered it. You could have done a remake of it. You could have done a sequel to it. And I guarantee you that would have made money. You wouldn't be refunding anybody any money right now. You know, while I did appreciate the idea that Concord was not play to win, that you could earn all the skins, the weapons, things like that. You didn't have to pay a dime. There were no microtransactions. That's the way gaming should be done. That I commend them on, because that's amazing. More developers need to do that. Exactly that. Okay? I'm talking to you, Ubisoft. Do that. But give the players what they want. Where is Bloodborne? Another one that they could have done was Days Gone 2. Days Gone is such an underrated game. I know a lot of people, it came out and a lot of people were sick of the zombie genre, but if you really got into it, if you really played it, you would understand that these aren't like your run-of-the-mill zombies. These aren't, you know, like Resident Evil or anything like that. It was something totally different. The motorcycle mechanics were great. The upgrade system, the leveling system, it was fantastic. The ending, it ended on a cliffhanger. And, I mean, it was wide open. It's right there. It's right there. I guarantee you, if you made Days Gone 2, not only would people buy it, but anybody who did not play the first one will run out and look for the first one. That's a guarantee. You have to, and just make it a banger. Don't make it, you know, like some trash. Don't make it, you know, overly ridiculous, overly zesty, overly, you know, like they had the right formula for it. It had the right formula. It was right there. It's so underrated. Maybe I'll do a video later on where I'm showing you exactly why it was so underrated. Because I'm telling you, it was great. It really was. They could have done something like that. We seem to be living in an age where people do not want to make games for the players or do for the players. Look at what's gone on with Assassin's Creed. Again, Ubisoft was asked hooded combat, new game plus for Valhalla, all these things. They didn't do it. They didn't do it. They got their money and they ran. They ended it. It made no sense, the ending. The final chapter was weird. It was insulting. I just, regardless of how you felt about that game, it was a buggy mess. It's still a buggy mess. It's still not fixed. There are still people who cannot complete the game because they're unable to. And, you know, it's wild. Dawn of Ragnarok, it was a $40 expansion. It wasn't a DLC. It was not included in your season pass. People were pissed. You know? Little things like this, players start to remember and they start to get mad. I don't know why they decided that this game, that Concord was the way to go. It made no sense to me. Absolutely none. I mean, again, nothing wrong with the graphics, nothing wrong with the cutscenes. It looked pretty cool. It just wasn't for me. And again, not because of the LGBTQIA elements, not because of the inclusion, not because there were a bunch of, black people in the game or anything like that. It just wasn't for me because I am not interested in team shooters. I'm not. We have enough of that. Overwatch, Halo, Fortnite. The list goes on. I just felt like we didn't need another one. If you want to do something fresh, do something fresh. But this game, I don't know. So now, $400 million in the toilet. That sucks. I don't know what's going to happen next. I'll keep you guys informed, though, like what's going on. And hopefully nobody loses their jobs. But I know a lot of people are just like, hey, you reap what you sow. And I know a lot of people have sent me information about, things that the developers have said, their anger, their frustration, blaming the players and everything. But you can't blame the people you're trying to sell this game to. You can't. You have to do better. You have to give the players what they want. So at this point, again, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a civil discussion. Did you think anything of Concord? Were you interested in Concord? Was it not for you? Did you know that it had LGBTQIA elements in it? Did you know it had diversity in it? What do you think about these kind of games that have that stuff? Do you think Sweet Baby Inc. needs to go? Do you think that certain CEOs need to go? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you thought of the game, what you think of the aftermath of like what's going on, and what do you think the future of gaming is going to look like? Again, love to hear from you. Anyway, I'm sorry this video was so long, but there was a lot to discuss here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one.